I'm not leaving. Leonardo DiCaprio said it. Lane Kiffin probably said it at some point in time, in some way, shape, or form, to his football program at Ole Miss. Looks like, at the time of this recording, he's signing a deal for 8 years. Get this, an average of $9 million a year. Not a lot you can't do with that kind of money. So good for Ole Miss, making it happen, making him stay. We're going to talk about more of that in a second. But we need to address the elephant in the room, rather the tiger in the room. Because for a lot of people, we had all assumed and sent in our vote for Lane Kiffin to be the next head coach at Auburn. Every reliable publication was essentially indicating that he was, if not the top guy, he was at least very much so in the hunt. And so for Lane Kiffin to stay at Ole Miss, I actually think Auburn might still be in really good shape. Like, I think Lane Kiffin deciding he's going to stay in Oxford, I believe it actually benefits both sides. So we'll start with Auburn. I just want to say this. I get the Lane Kiffin appeal. Like, you do not have to sell me on Lane Kiffin in the slightest. X and O genius. Look at what Alabama's doing today and the steps they've taken, some of the national titles they won. A lot of that is because of Lane Kiffin revamping the whole approach over there, assisting Nick Saban in adapting and continuing to, assert his dominance on the college football landscape. Like, Lane Kiffin deserves a lot of credit for that. X and O wizard. To the same exact token, at Ole Miss, look at what they were a season ago, and they lost a ton of personnel, changed their philosophy more or less. They changed the way they run things at Ole Miss and really lean on the run game just about as much as anyone else in the country, along with the academies, and handle business. Really, really good football team this year. Better than a lot of people expected them to be coming into this season. So there's that part. Then there's the other thing that Auburn fans, I think, were really excited about, and it's the recruiting. The high school level, yes, but the transfer portal. Nobody does the portal like Lane Kiffin does the portal. He's the portal king. And for Auburn fans, that's something that you've waited on for a little bit. Hey, why aren't we getting the talent that we think we're capable of getting here at Auburn? Lane Kiffin would have provided that. So I understand that. I also want to say this, though. I don't know that the Auburn job is for everybody. I'll rephrase that. The Auburn job isn't for everybody. You know it and I know it. There is a level of particularity and a certain expectation that those powers that be at Auburn have for their head coach. You got to be a fit. More than anywhere else in the country, I think Auburn requires a fit. Okay? Now, on the other side of that equation, Lane Kiffin, he's not a hit with everybody, man. He's fine with that, I promise you, but we talk about Lane Kiffin for things that don't always directly correlate with football. Whether it's Twitter, whether it's the way that he markets the transfer portal, whether it's, the picture he's taking with recruits. Like, Lane Kiffin beats to his own drum, and he is completely fine with that. Like, Lane Kiffin does him unapologetically. And quite frankly, I kind of love it. As a consumer of college football, I'm all about it. But you have a job that's not for everybody and a coach that's not for everybody. Do we really think that's the best idea to mix those two elements together? We really think that in the rebuild, the reset stage, rather that Auburn's in, a guy like Lane Kiffin, wouldn't it maybe ruffle some feathers with the powers that be at the first sight of turbulence within that program? Because make no mistake about it, whoever takes over that job, there is going to be some turbulence as they get back to being more and more relevant nationally. Like, that's a non-negotiable in this process. I don't know that Lane Kiffin would be the most palatable coach for some of the powers that be at Auburn during that whole process. Not saying it couldn't work. I'm just saying, do we really want to mix those two elements together? I think not, right? So, like we said, Lane Kiffin beats to his own drum, does him, operates how he operates. The way he rolls is true to himself and true to how he runs his program. This benefits Ole Miss because, yeah, he's winning. That's great. But you have embraced that. Like, you have bought in entirely to the Lane Kiffin experience, and you've seen the benefits of it. Look at where they were before and look where they are now. Look at where they were supposed to be this coming year. I believe in Vegas, there were 7.5 wins at the beginning of the year, over-under win total. 8-4 in the regular season. Lane Kiffin going to the portal, getting a quarterback, getting Zach Evans, gets Quinshawn Judkins, recruits Quinshawn Judkins from the high school level to come there, and he's been a smash success. Like, you've reaped the benefits of embracing Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. And so I can't stress this enough. Good for Ole Miss for not letting him walk. Good for Ole Miss to put their foot down and say, no, you know what? We got a really good head coach here. We got a good thing going. We got a program that's starting to really trend upward. We want to see this thing through. We don't want to start over. We're going to saddle up. We're going to get you what you want. Make it happen. Good for Ole Miss for playing big boy ball and getting themselves a head coach for the future. Now, looking forward, Lane Kiffin's 23-12 at Ole Miss. That's great. It was enough to get him this contract. But the expectations for Ole Miss as a program going forward is going to be, we want to see more momentum. We want to see, not just that, we want to see more ROI on this momentum. Because you and I both know, whenever a coach or anybody gets some sort of raise, there's an expectation that goes along with it that, whether it's right or wrong, hey, we want to get what we pay for. And again, Lane Kiffin isn't a new coach today as he was before he got this contract extension. But there is going to be a little bit more of a intrigue from the person paying that salary to Lane Kiffin moving forward because of how much they're paying. So, again, I think it benefits both parties. I think the Auburn experience would have been a rocky one. Not saying it couldn't work, but I think both parties are actually better off going their separate ways. And Ole Miss, good for them, saddling up, swinging the bat, and keeping their guy in Oxford. I'm Jody Pickell. This is The Hard Count. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, we would love to have y'all here. We do college football content every single day. You say just during the regular season? No, all the time. Recruiting. We got the Inside Scoop with Josh Newberg. Cover NIL like nobody else. Cover recruiting like I just mentioned with signing day like nobody else. Like, we're going to have a lot of things on this channel that we want you along for the ride for. We want you at the party. All right? I'll leave it at that. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.